So at this point, we have everything done except for the styling. And we are going to start by styling our layout, which is in our shared folder. And we've already talked about the importance of the layout page. It is the page that all of the views are pulled into. They are pulled in right at this point. And that provides them all with a common user interface. They will all have the same navigation bar. And any styling that we do to this main page will affect every single view that the users see. The styling that we do is going to be kind of a combination of uh, Bootstrap classes, and we'll also be doing some inline styles. And to override the Bootstrap, uh, you have to put the style at the end of the tag. That's the only way you can override it. In addition, we will be adding some styling to the site CSS as well. I mean, styling that you're going to do to heading tags and links and all of that should be in the site CSS instead of individual pages. So what we're going to be changing in this main page is the navigation bar itself. And that is located in the header section of the page. And we briefly went through this earlier, but just to refresh your memory, the layout page is the page that all of the views come into. It has the HTML5 structure. So we've got the doc type tag, HTML, which is for HTML5. We've got the opening HTML and we've got the closing HTML. We have the head section, which has our meta tags, and the viewport meta tag is for mobile. Then the title that is displayed is going to be what you see on the tab in the browser, and it is getting that title from the view. We looked at this earlier, but I'm going to pull up, well, actually, I can use any of these views. Whatever shows here for the title is what is going to get pulled in at this point. Okay, so that's where it's getting the title from. And just to refresh your memory, what the nav bar currently looks like, because we are going to be changing it. This is what it currently looks like. Okay, and we are going to enhance that nav bar. All righty. So let's take a look here as we go through. Navigation bar has to have nav bar. That is kind of a non-negotiable. And look down through here. Some of these other settings we can actually change. Let's see, navbar expand small. That makes it collapsible, so we're not going to change that. We do want it to be toggleable, which means that if we are viewing it on a phone, we can click the little hamburger to see the menu, and we can click it to collapse the menu. So we want that on. So really what we can adjust is the contrast between the background and the text, and we can also adjust the background color. Now, if you adjust the background color and make it dark, keep in mind that that is going to impact the links that are displayed. So all of this stuff has a ripple effect because these menu links are dark. And if we change the background to dark, those menu links are going to have to change. So they can't be text dark because dark does not show up on dark. That is a problem. Okay, so I do like dark menus. And so when I do choose to make the menu dark, I change the text color to light. Okay, and then it'll show up. In this particular project, we are going to kind of stick with a little, we're going to change the background color to like a gray, and we're going to get rid of BG light. Okay, so right now we have nav bar light, and we're going to change, actually, we're just going to take this out, and we're going to add a class that contrasts the text and the background. So we're going to do text light emphasis here. And then the rest we are going to keep the same. But after this, we're going to add an inline style for the background color. So we are going to do background, and this is straight CSS. It's going to be background dash color. And we're going to go with light gray. And then we're going to increase the font size a little bit to make that text bigger. So we're going to do font size, colon, and we're going to do 1.2 EM. Now, for those of you who haven't had the HTML class in a while, EM is a responsive measurement. 1 EM is like 100%. So 1.1 is 110%, 1.2 is 120%. Likewise, if we did the size at 0.9, 0.9 or 0.8, we would be making it smaller. Okay, so what we're doing is just making it a touch bigger. Okay, and why don't we save those changes? And I've already got the app running, and there is a hot reload here. So we can click on that and see if the changes will display, and sometimes they do. Okay, and I can actually see them in here. If we didn't see the changes, we could actually do a restart of the application. Okay. But for changes to views, it's kind of like web pages. You can do that hot reload and see the change immediately. Now, the other thing that we want to do here is, I'll pull that page up and show you. So home and workout take us to the same place. Let's go to privacy. I'll click on this. They basically take you to the landing page. This is considered a brand logo. And so what we're going to do is change our brand logo to a graphic. You can put different brand text in, or you can put graphics in for the logo. And we're going to do a little dumbbell here. And I just so happen to have the file for you to download. So coming over here, the file is here. It's called barbell. And where we need to put this is under www root and images. Now, by default, there is not an images folder in here. We got CSS, JavaScript, we have libraries, which includes Bootstrap, but we don't have images. So we need to right click, go to add and folder, and then we're going to key in images. Now, it doesn't like me to do this when it's running, so I'm going to have to stop this app. Okay, and now I can actually name the folder. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to right click on barbell. And let's see, save link as. So it's going to save it as barbell.ping, but this is not the right spot. I actually have to navigate to my project, and I don't want it called barbell1. Just did that because I already have it in the folder that it was going to. Let's see, I got to find my C drive and users, my username and source and repos. And I believe this is where I've got this. Let me see. Workout. I believe this is it. Either put it here or here. Let me see. Well, this will be pretty fast to find out. Let's see, root. I don't think, okay, so I'm going to save it right in here. Now, we'll know pretty quick if that was the right one. Because I should see it in here. Yay, there it is. So that's the problem when you have multiple projects named the same thing. Um, so we've got this now in the images folder, and you can see it's a ping file. It's got a transparent background. It's just, like a little barbell that we're going to be using for our logo. Now, where does that go? That goes in this link. Okay, so we have an anchor. This is the navbar brand. That's what the class is set to. You can see this is going to generate the href, the hypertext reference, to the index page. But instead of the text workout, we're going to insert an image here. Okay, so we're going to use the image tag. And we'll say source equals. And to tell it to go into the images folder, we start with a tilde. And this is, you have to press shift. It's above on the left side of the keyboard, above your tab, below your escape. It's called a tilde. So tilde says start at the top. And then we're going to do a slash. And we're going to do images, slash. And now I can see the file. So I'm just going to double click on it. Okay. And now it is in my source attribute. I'm going to do a space. Now, this file is quite a bit bigger than we would like it to be for, displaying on the navigation bar. So we are going to add a little style here to adjust the width. So we're going to set the width to 100 pixels. Okay, and then the height can just automatically adapt to that. And I'm going to put in my closing angle bracket here. Okay, so let me save that. That should work. And let's run this and see how that looks. All right, so here it is. And it still serves as a link. We can click on that, get to home. We can click on home and get to home. Okay, but that is how it's going to look. All righty. So we've talked about this before, but I just want to kind of make sure you know this puts a bottom border on the nav bar. This puts a shadow on the nav bar. And this puts 3 units of spacing below the nav bar. So that's for margin below, and that's 3 units. So it puts a little space below it. Okay. And there are a variety of numbers. Starting at 1, it may end at 5. Okay. But anything that you don't like here, you can certainly fix with an inline style. Now that we have that in there, what we are going to do next is adjust our menu bar. But I did want to kind of go over what this does. So I know this code looks kind of weird. It's a button, right? It's got a toggler class on it, a navigation toggler. So basically, it's something that gets turned on and off. By default, it is collapsed, and this is what actually displays the hamburger. Okay, this will display that little hamburger button. Okay, and so you can see there's quite a bit of code in there. That is not something that we are going to change because we do want that hamburger button to display. You can see this affects the ability of the menu to collapse. This allows our menu to expand and collapse. And again, this is going to create the hamburger icon itself that we're going to use as a toggle. So we're going to click on it to show the menu and click on it to hide it. So this creates the 3 slashes, and then all of the classes in here are affecting the behavior, whether it's displayed or hidden. Now coming down into our menu section. So these are the links that are in the navigation bar. And we have a whole lot of Bootstrap classes that are influencing them. And we really are not going to change any of these classes, to be honest. We are going to leave them alone. But navbar-nav defines a flexible container for navigation links, which is basically what we have on our menu. Flex grow allows the nav items to grow and fill the available space. And we're kind of familiar with that command from Flexbox. Nav item identifies the individual navigation items. So each one of these is going to have a class of nav item. Nav link is for styling the link itself. Here, text dark is displaying dark text for the link. Okay, and the collapse setting means that things will be initially collapsed. And I believe that's up here. Oh, that is right here. DSM inline flex makes the navbar items appear as an inline flex layout on smaller screens. And then justify content between distributes the item across the available space. Okay, so we're not going to change any of those classes. We're going to pretty much leave those alone. But what we are going to do is we're going to change home because we really don't need two links to the home page. Okay, we're just going to use the barbells for the link. And so what we're going to do is we're going to change the link from index to the index in our users folder. Now, both of these are currently linking to, to pages that are not in additional folders. They're in pages, but you'll see index and privacy are right here, and they aren't in any additional folders. And what we need to do is we need to link to the index that's in exercises, the index that is in users, and the index that is in workout logs. Okay, so to link to users, we're going to change this to users/index. And then the text that displays, we are going to change that to, you can say users or member listing, however you want to say it. And then we're going to keep privacy. So what I'm going to do is copy this one, and I'm going to paste it 2 times. Okay, and for this one, I'm going to link to the exercises index, and we'll just call this exercises. And for this one, it's going to be the workout logs. Okay, and so these names that are in the link have to match your folder names. Okay, and then the page that's after that is the page you want to link to. And we don't put CS HTML in it. So it's just the main part of the page name. And then what we have between the opening and closing anchor is going to be the menu command. Okay, so I'm going to save all of this. And then we're going to check the bottom to make sure we've got the copyright in 2025 workout. That is all fine. Okay, and we'll run a build. Okay, and then we're going to run the app. And we're going to just test out that menu to make sure it works. Okay, so we got users, exercises, workout logs, privacy, and we've got our home. All right, all of that works. So now we are going to move on to part 2, modifying the site CSS. And part of that is going to involve putting in a background image.